Hey, Shalom, I want to start off with no praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua Hashem, Kudash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you both doing the work in truth, with sincerity. This is a quick one I was meditating on before the camp. Spirit had it, whereby the elder brothers in our camp started going into it as well. So it was all all in the spirit, right? And that is this notion of that I can as opposed to why I can't, right? And this is me once again. It's coming from when I'm at a job, whatever, what have you. When I'm given a big spec of okay, look, this is what we want you to do, right? I noticed that I was looking at some of the things, items in the specs from a position of why can't I do this, as opposed to why can I do this, right? Now that's not a mentality, that we're supposed to have. Well, yeah, there'll be things that you're like, actually, no, that's unfeasible. That doesn't, that won't work for whatever reason, right? But then, where do you stop? Or do you just stop there, or do because your boss he's still expecting you to deliver that or something close to that spec that he's giving, just like how our boss has given us a spec, which is go out there and teach, right? In season and out of season. That's what a lot of these guys do. They give reasons why they can't, for instance, go out to teach. Like reasons like, what if my boss sees me, or what if, what if it's too cold? What if it's raining? What if it's too hot? What if I'm not ready? Right? All Scripture says, "Gird up thy loins now like a man." Right? We've been called to do a job, so go do it. Right? And and like I said about, sometimes it's not feasible. Using the apostles as an example, when certain Saturdays when it snowed in, right, where there's a snowstorm, and they can't, right? What do? They go back to the boss, right, the Most High. I said, look, man, obviously not like this, but just through the Spirit. Look, we can't go out on a Saturday because it's physically impossible. So although I can't speak this Saturday, we'll go out tomorrow when it's a little bit easier and the snowstorm has cleared, right? So it's reasons why I can, as opposed to reasons why I cannot, right? And when we was talking about it at the camp, well, it was basically talking about it, from also the aspect of in the world. Where you look at Jake in the world, they look at things from the aspect of, I can't, because they're in that slave mentality, man. Well, in fact, let me grab that if my internet wants to work. Says Jeremiah 2:14, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Right? Right now we're in a low self, a lower state, right? And we've got certain doubts that have been put into us from our master, right? The so-called white man when we was in the world. But then when we come into this truth, Esau's no longer our master, right? The Most High is our master, right? Which he always has been. But we were completely under this man's what's the word I'm looking for? Spell. I was completely under this man's spell, which is why we go around believing that we can't do certain things. But we're Israel, right? Yasha Allah, he's the prince of power. He's the son of God, right? This is Deuteronomy 28:48. Says, therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies. Right, so we've been in slavery a hell of a long time. Right, so a lot of our people, especially over there in the land of America, they have a slave mentality. Right, it says, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Well, so we're too used to going to Esau, in the want of all things, but to the end that one, we don't recognize sometimes just how much of an importance we are, in these different environments that we're in these workplaces, where Jake might have an idea that completely revolutionizes the workplace. They may have been making a lot of losses, right, because of inefficiencies, and Jake will come in there, and then they have an idea like, okay, cool, no, do it this way instead. Right, for instance, you see that in 12 Years a Slave, right? I forgot the main character. It was Solomon Northfield or something like that. He goes and says, no, if you do it this way instead, it's a lot more efficient, right? So Jake be doing that all the damn time, but they ain't, one, they ain't giving the credit, and two, they don't really, more time, they don't see, they don't know how great of a people we are, right? And especially when you come into this truth, that is something you've got to shake off. Right? It says Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Yahushua, which strengtheneth me. Right? So you might, what do you call it? You might want to, I don't know, pick up a language or whatever. Right? It's just not the first thing that came to mind. Right? You got to give yourself reasons why you can. Right, for me personally, one of the reason why, spiritual, when I thought about learning language, I really thought, yeah, I can. Right, firstly, I looked at my old boss at the time. He was an Amalekite, right, and he spoke several languages. I'm looking at this guy like, man, you're Amalek, right, and you can speak all this language. I'm supposed to be a son of God, right? If you can learn languages, I can learn languages. Also, my background is software, right, in the world, right? And that's what I do. So I do as the job, I write software. So I'm like, look, if I can write all of these different software languages, then surely I can learn, a language or whatever, right? And I'm not saying I don't fall guilty to reasons why I cannot. Right, I feel guilty to that all the time, right? And that also comes to that low self-esteem and that self-consciousness, right? I several, and also a part of it goes down to pride as well, right? Because sometimes you don't want to make yourself look like a fool, right? But this whole thing is about being foolish, man. Scripture says we are made a fool for Yahweh Shai, right? So I'll read that again. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things, right? And that's all things, in righteousness, right? Use the word as not abusing it. The elder brother basically made the point, instead of looking at it of, I can, or, or putting the blame on, Esau or Satan or whatever, what have you, right? Try. And if the Lord's with it, the Lord's with it. If the Lord ain't with it, the Lord ain't with it. But at least you've tried, right? Because we still gotta work, and we still gotta do this, and we still gotta do that until the Lord comes back, man. Right, whenever that will be. Right, so you always gotta, you think that we can do anything, right? And especially in this truth, right? We can what do you call it? We can grow, right? We can overcome certain hurdles, right? Because we've got Yahweh Shai with us. You might see something that, where your back's against the wall, but we've got Yahweh Shai. It says 2 Corinthians 4:16, right? For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. Right, so we're supposed to be getting renewed day by day. Right, these fears and self-consciousness and low self-esteem, all those things, we're supposed to be shaking that off, right? We're supposed to be being renewed to the point where you don't mind making yourself foolish so that you can gain wisdom in whatever field or whatever this or whatever that, right? It's all about being renewed. It's all about becoming a new man, a new creature, right? I believe, yes, is the one. Right? It says 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in Yahweh Shai, he is a new creature, right? All things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. So when we came into this truth, right? We just talk about being born again. Right? We became born again. We started shaking off the things of the world, right? And then we started becoming new. Right? And one of those things that when you become new is you start remembering that you're an Israelite and what that means. And that means that, if it's lawful, and then this time if it's one of the things it means, if it's lawful and if it's something that can benefit the body, right? You know, the Lord, there's nothing stopping you apart from the Lord, right? And if the Lord's with something, well, if the Lord's with you, for instance, in your downtime, you might be like, I want to learn an instrument or whatever, what have you, just for you to, have a bit of downtime, or whatever. Right? You're an Israelite, man. Nothing can stop you learning an instrument, man. Right? But Jake for too long have been in a defeatist mentality because we've been defeated. Right, but this truth builds you back up again. Now, I'm saying all of this. Obviously, you got to, take things with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying, try to become the next Michael Jackson. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying try to become the next Prince. Right, use the word as not abusing it. Right, but it's just a thing of a mindset. Your mind has to change when you come into this truth. Right, your mind has to change. Right, so that you can remember that you can do certain things, that you are good, you are worthy. Well, actually, I can't even say that because scriptures talk about our righteousness is as filthy rags, right? So not in the sense of to Yahweh, to the Lord or whatever, right? But we can do things, man. As the scriptures here says, 2 Timothy 1:7, it says, "For the Most High hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Right? So we ain't supposed to be fearful, right? Only thing we're supposed to fear is the Lord, right? Because and then we fear the Lord and have faith in the Lord, then the Lord will take care of us, right? So yeah, like I said, it's reasons why we can, right? That goes in the truth and that goes out the truth, right? Because there's you can't really have that kind of split where in the world you have a defeated mentality, but in the truth you don't have a defeated mentality. If you've got a defeated mentality in the world, you've got a defeated mentality in the truth. And look at our forefathers. In fact, let me grab that. This is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right. So if all the examples that we have, right, show that Jake, Israel, we're no dumb people. Well, you look at Daniel, right? He was high up in Babylon. Look at Joseph, he was high up in Egypt, right? I'm forgetting different names, different men of scriptures. It escapes me at this point in time. But different of our forefathers, right, were in high positions in the kingdoms that they're in. But now, once again, am I saying aim to do that? No, it's just to showing that we're no idiot people, man, right? And when Jake did excel, they excelled because they were doing things in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. If the Lord is with something, then the Lord's with it. If He ain't with it, then it ain't with it, and it will come to naught, right? But something. But those instances, it's like, well, I tried to do X, but the Lord went with it, so I kept it moving, and that's it, right? This is where is it? Well, I mean, whatsoever thy hand finds to do with Where's the scripture? It's hiding from me. My computer's getting slow now. Yes, it's Sirach, Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Right, so what you do it to the best of your ability, no matter what it is. Well, because at the end of the day, when we're out and about, we're representing Yahweh Shem Shine. Well, because, let's say you're an asshole at the job, you never do anything, right? Then your boss or colleagues come past the camp, see you teaching. Well, that tarnishes the entire name. So like, but wait, you're an asshole, right? So if you're an asshole and this is what you're doing, right? Then this whole thing is all of you are assholes. It's a bad name, right? Whereas if you're someone who does the best that you can do, then people walk past. They're like, look, man, I'm not down with what he's doing, but he's a hard worker. He does what it is that he has to do. He's wise and intelligent, right? So these must be wise and intelligent people, right? It looks good upon the whole body, right? So we ain't supposed to be no slackers, no, we ain't supposed to have a spirit of defeat, right? And like I said, apply, and it's something that the apostles speak on. They might say something, you always got to apply things to your situation. Like the real takeaway from this video should be to get rid of that defeated, I cannot do this, because if you have that mentality when it's time for the chip, right, and you ain't eating for a couple of days, you don't want to have that mentality of, I can't do this, I can't go a couple more days or a couple more hours without food, right? You've got to have the mentality of, I can, right? For the Lord is with me, right? So Lord's word, that was edifying. Until the next time, I say shalom.